We were really, really, really out there, man. I'm talking wigs, high heels, walking from 59th and Addison to Spruce to catch the bus through gang territory with high heels and a wig on.
Art in school, all the way back to elementary school. I was always an artist, sort of person.
He didn't, he told my mom, why you buying that damn guitar? He didn't like it too much, I guess he wanted me to be like him. Going to the army.
Stinker was really making his own shoes and clothes, and we would pick up certain things. We were really thieves.
Started to collect sorts of albums like Funkadelics, Sly and the Family Stone.
That was David Bowie, early David Bowie stuff. Ziggy Stardust.
Sid Barrett era, Pink Floyd, and the Alice Cooper and the Iggy and the Stooges.
I was like, reggae, what's that? So she gave me a big box of tapes. She said, you need to know these things. This is the bloody backbone of punk.
Also Spider and Chip, we were all from the same neighborhood in West Philadelphia.
There was a friend there who was saying, hey, he knew I was into music, and he was telling me, hey, it's a guy that plays like Hendrix. And I was like, bullshit. And so that had to have been Chip.
Just getting on the bus one day on Chestnut Street, and Spider gets on the bus, and we started talking. He used to come over to my house and we'd listen to stuff. My room's all psychedelic out.
I used to go hang at Stinker's house. His mom used to let me do whatever I wanted at his house, and I told him, hey man, why don't you buy this guy's bass? And we could start a band.
That was a thing, smoking pot, watching all sorts of movie, watching Dr. Shock.
And then our first gig, like I said, was at Lincoln Prep. I sang. And it was nice. I mean, for back then, we just rocked that whole place. The dean, everybody was there.
This is a song that we like to do called I Feel Bad.
We were reading the rock magazines, publications, rock scenes, and stuff like that. And that's how we would get our information about the underground New York scene at the time.
So at one point, Spider had ran into Johnny and them guys somewhere to Schubert or somewhere on Broad Street. They were playing down here.
Him and Stinker went up to New York a couple times. And they was hanging out with, people like, the New York Dolls.
We knew we were outgrowing Philadelphia, so we really wanted to get to a real scene. So we tried to get to New York.
Rented a U-Haul, took all the equipment. It was on New Jersey Turnpike, and state police stopped us. Yeah, they opened the back, and like all this smoke came out. We're lucky we didn't go to jail that night.
Went to a club, I think it was called the 318 or 310 Club or something, and Johnny Thunders was in there. We're smoking angel dust or doing something. So then, he offers us, come over to their loft. So we goes there and we're jamming,
Stinker had bass equipment, and we used his bass equipment to go in the studio. I sold my equipment so we can, just, live up there, eat.
And we had changed our name to Pure Hell because the scene of New York and everything was sort of morphing from glam into a more street vibe.
And at the same time, I was reading an autobiography on Jimi Hendrix, written by Curtis Knight. And I really, really dug that book. And I looked in the back and I noticed his address was in the Village. I went straight to New York, straight to his door, knocked on his door. I said, did you write this book? And he says, yeah. And I says, well, if you wrote this book, I got something for you. I got the band for you.
Our first show as Pure Hell was at Mother's across the street from the Chelsea Hotel. And mind you, everybody was in the Chelsea, and the scene was all together different. The backgrounds with money, mixing with people that are artistic, and models and actresses, porno actresses. And
we're not really a CBGB's band. We're more like a Max's, Kansas City, Chelsea Hotel kind of art scene, underground spin-off Andy Warhol type of Edie Sedgwick transvestite trip, you know?
Sid and Nancy entered the Chelsea. So it was only appropriate that we played with them.
Nancy had called and to try to counsel us out from opening up for Sid.
On comes the radio, British punk star Sid Vicious, you know, blah, 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 for the murder of Nancy Spungen. And we like, what the hell? Couldn't fucking believe it. I mean, it was a shock, being that we were going on tour. We just played with them. By the end of that month, we're on our way to Europe now. We're in the papers where Curtis has gone there and prepped all of that, and people know who we are. Then with this incident with Sid and Nancy, now we're on the second page of Melody Maker, New Musical Express, Sounds. So all of the European crowd is looking at us like, you know, an extension of the Pistols, and being of our being that we were black or so. It was all not a novelty, but it was all new. It was something to them.
So back then, they would spit on you if they showed your approval. I took off my bass at one point and tried to hit the first row of people in the aisle. They had to stop the show.
That reminded me of the boat ride to Holland when we had all these iron crosses and stuff on. And you know, we on a boat full of Dutch people, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, we didn't really like know, you know. We wasn't history majors, you know.
I was wearing all types of Nazi badges and stuff when we first came into Europe, and they weren't really liking us. I wasn't getting it because I was young. There were skinheads. Oh man, they were Packy bashing, black bashing, so they were trying to tell me where I should go and where I shouldn't go.
After our second tour of that, you know, it was pretty much done for all of original punk. And I say the Dead Boys were broken up, the Pistols were broken up. Then your record companies, your major record companies started to get a feel, started to catch up sort of to like, you know, this whole new generation of stuff that's going on. A lot of people thought we were from England, you know, because that's where our record was released and that's where we had major connections there. And it never caught on back here.
The Dolls broke up, and Giant Thunders and Jerry Nolan, they started the Heartbreakers. And so, you know, that's when we left the loft, you know, the Greyhound bus, you know, running back, looking back at the city, you know, as you're leaving. That was a pretty, you know, that was a pretty sad ride, leaving New York. But, you know, we did go back up there like, you know, a month or so later.
About Marlon Brando, another Aries-natured person. It's called Wild One. Wild One. Watch it now. Come here.
So next thing you know, Spider calls us in Hollywood. And we're like, whoa. And he's like, your tickets are at the airport. So we're like, wow, the shit is real. So we're all stoked. Yeah, let's go get some angel dust. So we went and got some angel dust. We're like, yeah, let's go to the training, smoke angel dust and get on the plane. So we smoked angel dust and missed the plane.
Wild One. What you been doing? What you do? I said, Wild One.
Mike Schneider asks me, he says, you know, Stinker, do you know Henry Rollins? I said, are you kidding me? I said, yeah, I know who Henry Rollins is. He says, yeah, well, he's playing his stuff on his radio. The indie station, 103.1, is that it, in California? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking, you know? Because quite frankly, when he told me that he had the masters of that first stuff, you know, all these years later, I was like, you know, do I have to kill this guy? I said, he's gonna put this stuff out, and all these new kids that are out there now that are like, you know, that are more, you know, advanced and everything now from that, they'll see that. He says, oh no, this stuff is like, you know, awesome. I'm like, so people like Noise Addiction, they're liking it?
It's like history. I mean, we're part of pop culture on the West Coast already. And we're not even from there, and in England too, so it'd be nice if we really had that known here.
The first to say you love me, and you thought I should know.